Welcome back to another political talk. I'll be talking about Alexander Hamilton. I would like to say in advance, I am sorry. I'm going to be looking at my notes quite a bit. He is an important political figure, and I just don't want to forget anything important. Let's get started. Alexander Hamilton was born out of wedlock in Charleston, Nevis. He was orphaned as a child and taken in by a prosperous merchant. He was a Caribbean-born American statesman, politician, legal scholar, military commander, lawyer, banker, and economist. He was one of the founding fathers of the United States. He was an influential interpreter and promoter of the U.S. Constitution, as well as the founder of the nation's financial system, the Federalist Party, the United States Coast Guard, and the New York Post newspaper. As the first Secretary of the Treasury, Hamilton was the main author of the economic policies of President George Washington's administration. He took the lead in federal government's funding of the state's debt, as well as establishing the nation's first two de facto central banks, also known as the Bank of North America and the First Bank of the United States. His vision included a strong central government led by a vigorous executive branch, a strong economy, support for manufacturing, and a strong military. People see Hamilton as a great guy. They see him as some sort of model for American history, for how Americans should think about America and how they should think about the Constitution. It's wrong. The neoconservatives have claimed him, and then on the other hand, there are people on the left who have also claimed him. He was definitely not a leftist, though, even though he wasn't for limited government in the Jeffersonian sense. Hamilton embodies everything in America in some way. In the 14th Amendment, you have the idea that the central government has to enforce liberty, and Hamilton didn't really think about that at the time. He, in fact, was against the Bill of Rights. He didn't think it was necessary. It all comes down to the fact that Hamilton was a nationalist. If you look at the left or the neoconservatives, they are nationalists. When you have this particular type of ideology, where it comes down to, I believe that the central government should do this, and I want it to do this. I don't want it to do what you want it to do, but as long as it's doing what I want it to do, then it's okay. And of course, Hamilton was behind that because it's constitutional machinations. It's the idea that we have implied powers. It's the idea that Hamilton believed that the states should be rendered or reduced to corporations. And he actually said that in June of 1787. That right there is dangerous thinking. He's saying that the states should be less than what they are. But who created the government? The states did. So the states are over the government. They created the government, they brought it into existence, and they formed the government as how it's supposed to be. All these nationalists, the neoconservatives, who want to go out there and have a strong central authority in foreign policy, and then on the left, they of course love implied powers. They love the fact that they can go out and use the necessary and proper clause as you can do anything you want to do clause. So you have that idea that we have the big welfare state and we can have a strong executive. Everybody loves the king, right? The American king. And Hamilton loved that idea. All these things fit with the left and the right, which is why Hamilton is loved by everybody. When somebody is loved by everybody, there is a real problem with that. He's a real villain. In my opinion, I think Hamilton is the greatest villain in American history of all time. We live in Hamilton's America. He wanted a strong central government, and that is what we have. He was manipulative. He knew how the government was supposed to work. So he was easily able to twist the words and say, no, the Constitution actually says this, or no, it's okay. The Constitution didn't really say that. You can do this if you want to. Since he was a promoter of the Constitution and a founding father, you would think that he would abide by the guidelines. That was in fact totally opposite. He understood the Constitution, which gave him the ability to know how to rip it to pieces. He deliberately went against it, the Constitution, the Founding Fathers' vision of America, to create an America that was never planned or wanted. The original Constitution never wanted a monarchy. The Founding Fathers avoided a monarchy because they didn't want to be under another ruler. Thank you for listening. This has been a little bit about Alexander Hamilton. I possibly might be doing a part 2. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.